human, and welcome back to Madison Mindset, the podcast. My name is Madison. I'm a yoga teacher and a mindset and spirituality coach. Most importantly, I'm a student of yoga, student of life, and an absolute lover of life. I'm so glad that you're here with me right now. Welcome. Happy Monday if you're listening to this on the day it comes out. In this episode, we're going to chat about what a magical mindset is. So, if you've been following me for a little while, you've been listening, you may have heard me use the term magical mindset. What is a magical mindset? Okay, I want to give you an idea of what that is and what I can help you start to see in your life, whether it's on the podcast or in deeper variations. So, we're going to begin with a simple moment of pause here. If you were driving, obviously do this with your eyes open and, be safe. But if you can stop with me and close your eyes, I want you to do that for a moment. Just stop what you're doing. Be still. Notice, listen to this present moment. Take a deep breath. Notice the lungs. Notice the heartbeat. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. Lift the corners of your mouth. And coming back to this moment together, opening the eyes, noticing how you feel after that one moment of stillness. A magical mindset. What I feel a magical mindset has been adapted over the years and has been formed from many different places. So in yoga, the goal of yoga is creating a still and peaceful mind, right? This is definitely a part of it, being able to still your mind and bring peace to your mind. Hey, what does that do for you? It means your body's healthier. It means your day goes a lot smoother. You've got a lot more clarity and you have a lot more fun in your day because you're not having that mind running all over the place. However, our mind has been conditioned to think whatever our current values and beliefs are, wherever we pick them up from, a lot of them over our childhood, maybe from past lives, maybe from our line of ancestors or whatever it is, wherever it's come from. We're putting pause on all those thoughts. And there's a beautiful sense of peace that comes from that. And that is where practicing yoga, but specifically, more importantly, meditation, is really essential for the mind and a big part of cultivating a magical mindset, because we have to be able to calm the mind down, to get it to sit still, to enjoy a moment of peace where there's no thinking. The average human, I think it's something like 60,000 thoughts a day, and that number's only climbing with our declining attention spans, right? So really, the amount of thoughts you have per day, how many of them do you actually remember? Do you remember your 60,000 thoughts from yesterday? Of course not. Of course not. You might remember one or two, maybe a handful. But most of them were completely unimportant and not needed. And many of them were probably focused on the negative, the harder parts of life, because that's what our minds are wired to go towards, okay? On a deep level, on a survival instinct level, our brains are wired to notice the negative, okay? So if your mind's bringing up a whole heap of negative stuff, it may not even be true, but the brain will still look at it in terms of survival, okay? So a lot of our thoughts are just nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's a lot to process on every level. Imagine having to process the physical sensations, the emotional sensations, and the mental fluctuations of each individual thought 60,000 times in the day. No wonder we're tired. No wonder we're stressed. No wonder we're annoyed. No wonder we're cranky, right? That's a lot. Okay, so being able to slow the mind down and teaching it how to sit still is essential. I mean, look at nature. See how still nature is, how peaceful nature is? That's what we're trying to bring ourselves back to. Okay, the human body is a nature-made thing. It's made to be part of nature. But your mind makes us unique in the sense that we can project forwards and think about yesterday and think about possible outcomes and create. So we've got this incredible intelligence and this creative tool that we can use. However, if we don't learn how to use it well, it tends to be more harmful than it is beneficial. So it's important to learn meditation, learn how to sit still, learn how to quiet the mind. Now, the meditation I'm specifically talking to is very much in the yoga world and even Buddhism, very similar to that as well. There are many other philosophies that offer meditation in different styles. The way I've been trained and the philosophy behind the reason I've been trained that way is what has made a big difference in my life. It's really brought a lot of peace and clarity to my mind, which is so nice to be able to experience. So if you are not sure if you know how to meditate or if you're still using apps to meditate or whatever it is, guided meditations, they're nice, but they're more like relaxation practices. They're not really deep work with the mind, with trying to change the way the mind functions. So if you would like to learn a little bit more about that, I have actually just posted a workshop, a live workshop on Patreon. So it's there for a one-time purchase. It's $88 USD. So you can jump on there and buy that workshop. It's 2.5 hours of audio. It was a live workshop. It was recorded about a year ago, and it's incredible. We go through all the things in meditation, we're breaking down beliefs about meditation that aren't correct about it. We're looking at where it comes from, why it started, why it's so old, and the yoga philosophy behind meditation and how to do it and what we're looking for. We also go through a practice. So if you would like to learn a little bit more about meditation so that you can practice it on your own with your own autonomy and actually take control of that, then that's a great workshop for you. But you can always send me a DM as well with any questions or put comments in underneath the episode or on YouTube or whatever, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you. But yeah, it is time that we take responsibility for the mind. And honestly, we should be taught meditation in school. It should be done. And I believe the reason it's not, whether this is true or not, I believe it's either been completely overlooked, which is ridiculous, or it's not profitable to have everyone in control of their minds and living a peaceful, joyful life. So I really think it's important that you take the responsibility and go, nope, my mind is causing all kinds of havoc. I've got crazy anxiety. I'm angry all the time. I'm stressed all the time. I'm not happy. I'm not enjoying my existence. Then you need to do something about it because your existence is very special and very short. So we've got to take responsibility for it. Jump over to that workshop, give it a listen, carve out 2.5 hours of your day. That might be on a weekend or whatever, early morning. Sit down and listen and let's go through it together. There is a worksheet on there as well. So that's the answer to the meditation side, but it's definitely a huge part of cultivating a magical mindset. The other thing that is really important in this is connection to nature. We spend so much of our time in these concrete jungles, or even worse, in a screen land, which is not real. So when you spend so much time in these places, your body becomes so out of sync with what it's meant to be that it feels heavy. It feels yucky to be in. And then the mind responds to the body responds to the mind, and you keep creating this same yuck, heavy, lethargic, gross feeling within you. Okay, so getting outside and earthing regularly and touching the trees and walking around and, whatever, talking to gum trees, if you're in Australia, talking to any tree that you see, and adventuring is really important, doing things with your body. And the other thing this brings up is also doing things with your hands. So I'm talking like creativity on the physical level, whether you're going to make music or draw something or knit something, crochet something, cook something, clean something, make something with your hands, do gardening, do anything physical with the hands, especially something we used to do a long time ago before all the technology and all of the nonsense came in, something really organic, something beautiful, create something. That feels unbelievable because you're a human being, You're meant to be using your mind and body to create in the physical world and to bring amazing ideas and thoughts into the physical realm. And that's part of what you are. You're a physical being, right? You're physical in the level of the body, but you're a magical being in the level of the soul. When you put those two together, what do you think you're meant to be doing? Right? You're meant to be drawing the magic in to life. You're meant to be helping people and, providing service to the world. Go and pick up rubbish along the highway. Go and do something, that makes you feel alive, that makes you connect with nature, that makes you feel incredible, that makes you lose time. Okay, that is really important, and we don't allow enough time for it. Another big part of our magical mindset is self-care. Okay, so actually taking care of ourselves on every level. Okay, I'm not talking go and get a massage every week, although if you can, why not? I'm talking being mindful of what you're eating, making sure you're getting yourself to bed on time, giving yourself enough water, nourishing proper water without all the chemicals, right? Actually taking care of your body, of yourself. Self-parenting, I also call this as well. Like would you let your child scroll on Instagram for 5 hours? Probably not. You probably tell them put that phone away and go to bed or go and read a book or go outside, right? So do that for yourself. Parent yourself into healthier habits, into doing healthier things. That's a really important step of creating a magical mindset. The other big one, self-love. Learning to create this best friend relationship with yourself, learning how to really love yourself. When you can do that, you're sitting next to a best friend all the time. You're sitting next to the closest person you'll ever be with, and you'll love your own company, right? And you'll show up for yourself better when you're sitting next to a best friend. If you've got a really dodgy relationship with yourself, if you're constantly judgmental of yourself, criticizing yourself, calling yourself names, just negative filled, of course you're miserable. You're sitting next to a miserable soul, right? You've got to create a beautiful relationship with the person you're sitting next to, the person you're stuck with for the rest of your life, which would be you. So we create a really beautiful relationship with ourselves, welcome all the love, and then life's not so bad. Because even if you're going through horrible things, you've got yourself. You've got this great connection with yourself. You've got someone who you can laugh with. You know what's great about being your own best friend? I always laugh at my own jokes, right? Often I'll tell jokes to people that don't laugh. And I'm like, you're kidding. It's hilarious. I tell myself jokes all the time and it feels amazing. It feels incredible to laugh at your own jokes and to feel like you are, yeah, having fun with yourself. It's fantastic. We've got to do this stuff more. So self-love is another huge point in creating a magical mindset. And the biggest one that I want to bring up with you today, all of them are super relevant, super important, and there's so much that goes into all of this, your mindset, spirituality, and connecting with life, connecting with yourself, and all the tools and techniques we can use. There's so much that goes on here, but a big part of it is your perspective. Okay. Adopting the belief that it's not anyone else's problem. It's not life's issue. It's not what's happening around you. It's how you're responding to it, how you're reacting to it. For example, the last couple days here has been freezing, really cold, right? As we're right in the depths of winter over in Australia right now. And people are often surprised that I'm sitting in Australia wearing a beanie. But yeah, it does get cold in Australia, everyone. If you haven't been to Australia before, you may be shocked. I've met quite a few travelers that didn't think to pack warm clothes. Australia does have winter, so keep that in mind. But people walk into the yoga studio where I'm sitting right now. This is what you're looking at. And they literally will be like, oh, it's horrible out there. What a miserable day. Oh, it's terrible out there. It's grey, it's dark, it's awful. How does that help? Ask that question. Okay, how does complaining about how miserable, quote, miserable it is outside, how is that helping anybody? How does that help you? How does that help me? You're telling me it's miserable outside. Gee, thanks. Thanks for that little bit of negativity you just chucked at me. Right? There is absolutely no point in complaining about the cold because it doesn't help. It doesn't help you, doesn't help me, doesn't help anyone, doesn't make you any warmer. It just makes you more negative, more heavy, more depressed, right? We don't want that. So instead, I've literally offered to people, it's not miserable out there. I think it is a perfect representation of winter. Isn't this just an incredible winter's day? Like when you think of winter, that's it, right? That beautiful, like how it's a little bit dark and it's cozy. You just want to snuggle in front of the fire. That's winter, right? That's the depths of a season. Many people don't get to experience all 4 seasons in such depth as we do here. Isn't that incredible? And then they go, oh yeah, and they kind of change their perspective. And I've had many people this week go, oh, that's heaps better. That's heaps better. It's way better to look at it that way, right? And people don't even think to think about it that way. They just go straight to complaining, straight to, oh, how does that help? It doesn't help you. It brings you down. All right. And what you are thinking and what you're feeling in this moment is going to create your next moment. The reason you're thinking and feeling the way you are right now is because of what you did in the last moment. You're literally just creating the next moment for yourself. If you're miserable now, or you start going, oh, I'm not dressed well today, or that girl looked me up and down, or oh, the weather's miserable outside, and oh, it's hard, it's Monday, and oh, it's not fair. How do you think you're going to feel in the next moment? It's just logic, isn't it? You're going to feel like shit. It's just logic, isn't it? You're going to feel heavy. You're going to feel like everything's miserable because you said it was, because you're in that. So instead, we turn that around. We change the perspective. And there's many different parts of life we have to change our perspective around, from our relationships to how we handle money, to how we handle our body and our health and our healing, to how we handle, experiences of FOMO, fear of missing out on something, or, impatience that we've got, or creating success or a business, or whatever, or anything you can think of. We've got to change our perspective. And as you start to do that, you start to dive into things and look under the rug and look a little bit deeper into things and figure out what's going on. And it really creates this amazing sense of self-awareness, which is a huge part of our mindset, right? If you don't know, most people aren't out there right now walking around going, oh, it's miserable, it's miserable, it's miserable. Most of them don't know that they're causing the misery to themselves, that they are the problem. It's not winter that's the problem. It's not snow that's the problem. Snow is beautiful, right? Snow can be beautiful, snow can be terrible. When you think about snow, right, it doesn't have a like or dislike. Nature doesn't like or dislike snow. It just is. It has its purpose, right? It has its meaning. When you look at snow and you put it in the center of the room and you get 10 people to give their perspective on snow, it'll differ depending on the person's previous experience, depending on where they're at, depending on their mood, right? So if I say, how do you feel about snow? Today you might say, oh, it's all right as long as I'm in front of the cozy fire and I've got a book, it's cozy, it's beautiful, I love it. But on the next day you might say, oh, I had to go to work and it was slippery and miserable, it's horrible and it's cold. You know what I mean? So the same thing, snow, can be perceived in so many different ways. And it depends on, not on the snow didn't change, on you. And that's the same with every little thing in your life. So we have got to learn how to flip that around, right? And this is not easy. It's not easy. It's taken me 8 years, 9 years. We're getting up there, getting up towards a decade of mindset work, of rewiring the way my brain is functioning. It has taken a long time. And only in the last 4 or 5 years have I started to try and help other people with it, because I can see that life is magical. I've had the best day. It's cold out there and I'm at work and I'm doing my stuff. I'm by myself the majority of the time. I've had a great time. I've danced, I've moved, I've had fun, I've laughed at myself. I've been outside a bit. It's great. I'm having a beautiful life. You can have a beautiful life. It doesn't have to be, I'm dragging myself here, dragging myself there, miserable, miserable. You can see it. The people are doing it to themselves. So my work here is to help you create your own magical mindset, to help you use all of these techniques and more and understand them enough so that you can have your own beautiful experience of life, so that you can have a beautiful day, so that you can have a peaceful existence, so that you can have a peaceful relationship with your partner and with your children and with your family and with yourself, so you can be healthier mentally and physically, right? So you can become more emotionally intelligent and in touch with life and connected to nature. This is what living's all about, So that's what a magical mindset means. When you go onto my Patreon, you see the magical human support space, right? We're talking about creating magical mindsets. We're talking about going a little bit deeper, right? All the workshops that I'm sharing, all the retreats, all the classes, all of it is to help you get a little bit closer, create a little bit more of a connection with that, to experience what it's like to have that magical mindset. So it's important. That's what we're creating here, and I'm really excited before I go to share with you that I have opened for the first time in 2 years 5 coaching spots. Only 5, so that I can spend high quality time with each of these people. 2 of those spots have already been filled, so there are 3 left. 3 left as when I'm recording this. What these coaching spots involve is you and me, 90 minutes one-on-one, whether it's in person or over Zoom. You can be anywhere in the world. And we're going to have 90-minute session per month for 7 months. So that's 7 90-minute sessions. It's going to be based around the chakra system, so we can build from the ground up, because that's really important, to start with the ground, create a really strong foundation for your growth, and then to evolve from there. You have full texting, WhatsApp, whatever, access to me. If you need to chat, if you've got something that came up, whatever, you can send it through to me. You get free access to Patreon, the Magical Human Support Space, and you get free workshops. Whatever workshops I'm hosting over the next 7 months, they're yours. You've got them. You are my VIP, right? I want to start helping people move towards this magical mindset, to really make big shifts towards there. And if you're listening to the podcast and you're doing those kind of, classes or little things with me, that's all going to help. But these are steps. These are big, giant steps in the right direction, and I'm going to hold your hand the whole way. Okay, so if this sounds like something that you're interested in and you'd like to have a chat about it, or have a phone call with me and see how you feel, you can go below and click the link to schedule a call with me. Very short, 15, 20 minutes. We'll have a chat. We'll see if it's right for you and if it's something that sounds like a good idea for you. So yeah, I really encourage you to check that out. As I said, there's only 3 spots left, and I've got you for 7 months, which means I'm not going to open any more coaching spots. Once the 5 are filled, there's going to be no more spots for another 7 months. So we're talking March next year, around that time. So if you are ready, if you're like, you know what, really sick of just coasting along, I'm miserable most of the time, I'm not experiencing enough joy or enough peace, I'm having a lot of discomfort and all these different things, then come and join me. Come and let me support you so that you can step up in your life. Thank you so much for being here, Magical Human. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it kind of cleared up what a magical mindset could be, and I hope it inspires you to create your own magical mindset, to start to find more peace, more clarity of mind. And of course, all the podcast episodes can help you. The practice episodes help. You can jump onto Patreon for $5 USD a month. Come and join me over there. There's nearly 100 videos and audios that you can explore and start to connect with those things. And you can also go check out the meditation workshop if you're really keen on starting a meditation practice. That is for you. That is yours. Highly recommend that one, whether you think you are all over meditation or if you're beginning the journey. It's going to deepen your awareness and really give you some support on your journey. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much, and I'm wishing you the best rest of your day. Love.